Hello and welcome to episode 11 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails playthrough on hard mode here in cycle 15, day 15. Got 9.5 days left of this bad tide, and we're going to pick up right where we left off last time, which was the installation of additional terrain over here on top of our bad water area. And there's a lot more we can be doing over here, and a lot more stuff that we can fix, improve, so on, so forth. So let's get right into it. I want to address a couple things you guys brought up in the comments of last video, which, well, I guess technically, last video and the video before, I was wrong about which sluice you guys were talking about. Turns out it was this guy right here. And yes, I do absolutely see what you guys are talking about here with regard to this being a continuous drain. So, how we're going to solve that problem, I mean, this is basically already evaporated anyhow, but how we're going to solve that problem is we're going to create a little tiny canyon thing right here. I don't know why I wanted to call this a canyon. That's not what it is. But basically what this is going to do is trap water after a certain point, a certain height of this reservoir here, trap some water back behind the sluice so that this guy, whenever it opens, doesn't drain the entire thing. So, you know, maybe this isn't the best way to do this, but it's the way we're going to do it for now. And we can correct it at some other point in time. The basic idea with this is just to try to prevent this whole thing from draining out when this is dry. So, thanks for pointing out the specifics of that. I know, probably really frustrating to watch me do the whole last episode. Like, no, I was talking about this whole thing. It's fine. we got it taken care of. That's all good to go. Another thing that was mentioned was we have this staircase down into bad water, so that's gone. We do not want that to be utilized in any way, shape, or form. And then we have this area over here that we probably should be doing some other stuff with at some point in time, but I wanted to make sure we got to that just right off the bat because there's so much that would go horribly wrong if that were left unchecked. So, let's go ahead and get this on triple speed and move back over here because we got a lot of stuff left to do in this area to try and make this into a more useful spot, I guess we could say. And I am pleased to report that a lot of you guys want to see a multi-story aquatic farm. So I'm going to try to figure out a decent spot to do one of those. I'm going to be completely honest, I do not remember if in last episode I said any specific location for that or not, but you can remind me if I did. I don't think I did, but I was thinking it would be kind of fun to fill in like one of these larger areas with something like that. But for right now, like I said in the previous episode, this would be, I think, a good spot to grow some wheat because it is close to the grindstones, close to the bakeries, and all of that stuff. Grist mills, not grindstones. I don't know what I'm on, but that's going to be a cool thing. Another thing that we can do that I honestly completely forgot about is we can put these giant windmills on top of all this stuff. Now, granted, right now it's probably going to be a little hard to do that because of how we have this stuff situated, but I think that's a great idea because it's already basically just wasted space anyhow, so why not? And these are basically 6-way junctions, or I guess we could call them 5-way junctions because the top of it's the actual windmill itself. But this could take the space of this guy, could take the space of this guy. Normally, I do like to have these spaced as closely as possible, like we did up here, but I'm not necessarily opposed to going every 3 blocks, just to keep appearances up. So that means that would be one there, that would be one there, that would be one there, one there, and then actually, you know what? That would work out really, really nicely. I think, at least. So that's something we could consider at some point. I actually don't know if I have the materials for that right now. No, I super do, except for the planks. Planks are kind of a problem. But we're starting to have some extra beavers, so I do think I can turn on one more of these lumber mills here, continuing to make some very nice progress in that regard as well. All right, so now we have to decide just how much of this space we're going to completely cover up for the purposes of growing wheat, because I need to figure out where the irrigation is going to go. And again, there's all sorts of stuff that we got to get to. We're not going to be able to get to it all, so we're going to have to kind of prioritize a little bit better, including explosive storage. We don't have a separate storage for explosives And I'm not really sure where the best place for that to go would be because I don't really know what we're going to be doing. I know it will come as an absolute shock to all of you, but I don't exhaustively plan anything. Actually, that's a terrible spot for that to go. It really should be near one of these stations. So I guess, let's see, here we go again. Here we go again. I don't have any idea what I'm doing, where I'm putting stuff. So I'll just put that right there. I'll just put that there because it's close to one of these stations. That'll be fine. But we do need to have more storage. It needs to be ideally accessible, which that will be. And we'll just continue moving on. Other stuff that we want to take care of. Would like to fill in this space here, fill in these spaces here. And then there's a couple other spots that we probably should fill in as well. This whole mess over here just is really not necessary. So, goodbye gristmill, goodbye power wheel, goodbye this, goodbye that. That's empty, goodbye that. So now we have all of this space, which since this is no longer, you know, a river flowing through anywhere, we can actually reclaim some land very, very easily and make some pretty good use of all this space to grow additional potatoes or, well, anything else we can think of. So, as we continue getting more and more dirt, it's probably going to be smart to make use of that. Just got to let these guys do what they're going to do. And just move on. I thought I got rid of this. Why is this still in here? This right here, if you don't remember, is going to be one of our large underground piles for tree storage. Wood storage. Log storage. One of those words is correct. Yeah, so let's just pop that guy right there. We will, of course, have to blow this up to put a ladder in place. But the idea, of course, is to make as much use of our space as possible and do what we got to do. We take a look here as well. This is not a tremendously great irrigation spot here, but I don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth getting upset over. I think it'll be fine regardless. Just got to get it going. So that's looking good there. Things are continuing to progress nicely here. We do have wheat flour. We do have a smaller amount of cattail flour, but we've got some cattail crackers and we don't have any storage for them. So this comes back to the whole thing of what are we doing in the main area where we have, I guess, what we can call our hub station. Even though, you know, zip lines point to point, it's not really a hub thing. It's something we have to consider. And we really, really need to be doing a better job of organizing all this stuff. That's why it's so hard. Especially with the Folktails. It is just ridiculously hard to make some sort of cohesive layout with these guys and have it be organic and not just whatever. It's mainly like the houses with the second story entrances just create so many problems. I don't know. It's one of the reasons why I usually play with the Iron Teeth. But I guess we got to figure something out here. We got storage for regular potatoes because they're going into this grill here. Is like this. Honestly, this whole thing just needs to be completely blown up and just started over again. But we do have, within a reasonable distance of all that mess, we do have space over here that is not irrigated and honestly isn't terrible for storage stuff. I do think I want to, you know, notch this corner out. We don't have extract yet, so unfortunately, we're going to have to single blast this out because we don't have anything else really set up for that. But it is going to be a smart idea for us to make good use of our space when we can, if we can, and just start the process of having finished food items readily accessible in a way that is going to make sense. So, fortunately, we do have the ability to utilize ladders. That's what they're called. We have the ability to utilize ladders. We can make a little bit of a better... I was going to put in a scratcher here, but then I remember that's not a thing in the Folktails. Somebody mentioned that in the comments, like, hey, you should put those in. Like, okay, cool. And then you can't do that. But we can put a little contemplation spot in. And we can... I forgot. You can't cover the contemplation spot. That would be too much contemplation. No contemplation allowed. But I digress. That's going to be fine. I need to have bigger storages for food. Even if it's not like the primary thing, we have to start putting something somewhere. Just got to get it done. So now we're going to have bigger space for bread, which means all of this... I mean, I guess it's probably fine to have one of these here, but we don't need to have all of this be taken up with that. We can grow stuff. This is like actual usable space. So my default's just going to be to say, hey, you know what? Let's put some more sunflowers here, because that is space that works for sunflowers. Yeah, see, that's already going to be better. We're not really growing very many carrots either. And that's something that we can continue improving as we make our way through a whole bunch of stuff. And don't forget, we have terrain. So we can actually expand our farming areas here. I will go ahead and put some of those in there. And then I guess it's probably going to make sense to get this brought across that way. It's going to have a little bit more irrigation. We'll see just how much it helps things, but slow and steady wins the race. And our well-being is 20 now. Nice. We got injured beavers. Don't worry, we have medical beds, so that is totally fine. Get stuff figured out as we continue moving on here. Alright, this should be dry. Yes? Okay, good. And that's built, so that's good. The trees are looking mostly fine. I do want to plant some more of these chestnut trees. Make sure these aren't marked for cutting. They are. Let's fix that immediately. We do not want to be cutting the chestnut trees. Alright, I'm glad I caught that. We do have maple syrup here. We do have pine resin here. If I remember correctly, yes, we do have maple syrup that needs to be prioritized. So that's fine. Maple pastries, of course, are missing the maple syrup. And we do actually need some log storage here in this general area. And we have plank storage instead. So I'm going to swap this over to logs. That should help that out. Well, maybe not tremendously, but help it out decently enough. And I think we're going to have to make a decision on whether or not we want to expand the reservoir out this way or expand this flat bit this way. I think grand scheme of things, probably makes sense to just, get rid of these water pumps entirely and just expand this whole thing out here. Slowly, little bits and pieces. You know how it goes. So I will go ahead and get this situated here. I'm going to, I think, I'll leave that one in place because that completes that path there. But we're going to put in a ladder there so we can get access in here to put dynamite in place. Again, this is just about creating additional capacity in this reservoir. And there's so many more that we have to get going on, but one small step, still gonna make some nice progress. So that's set up there. That's looking good to go. This is the last one here. I think we're gonna have a problem with our planks in a little bit, building all this, but we'll get that taken care of. We got bread, we got grilled potatoes. We're gonna want cattail cracker storage, and we're gonna want grilled spatterdock storage. Now, you might be saying, you don't have a grill for spatterdock, and you would be correct. But that is a problem we can pretty easily solve. And since we know that this was a colossal failure, easy thing for us to do is going to be something that you guys suggested in the comments, and that is to just do it right the second time. Actually, that was super wrong. That needs to be rotated again. Do it right the second time, and put in this thing here, put in this here, put in that not there. Turn this thing around 180 degrees, and now we have access to additional space. And that is going to be an immediate improvement. So now, yeah, see, look at all this. Look at all this. That is going to be tremendous. They just have to get the rest of that stuff put in place there. And now I've got space right here for... add sound effects, and a warehouse. Somewhere, Kurt is screaming in pain because the beloved showers were removed. But not to worry. We're going to put other showers in more appropriate places for showers in just a moment. Let's do some cattail roots and some spatterdock just to have some nice storage right there. The cattail flour gets stored up here just like normal. That's totally fine. Spatterdock is stored there. And we're going to need to have a grill for the spatter dock. And I think this is going to make, well, it's maybe not make the most sense, but I'm actually going to swap those grilled spatter dock, and that could be for the cattail crackers. But if I put this right here, super, super, super easy to get into. Then, look at this. Easy access right there. And then this can go right here. Is that necessary? No, probably not. But, you know, life goes on. Totally fine to get this put in place. And I've got some extra beavers, so yeah, here we go. Another lumber mill. Get that rolling. Looking pretty good. Oh, and by the way, it is cycle 16. I just kind of glossed over that, but now we have extra space. A little tiny bit. One piece at a time. You know how it goes. All sorts of opportunities here to make this deeper. We just have to be able to do it. It's never really going to happen fast enough, but we can still do something. We can still do something. I'm going to make this happen, maybe, in some sort of reasonable quantity of time by popping this in here. And I think if I prioritize this, it should help. Yeah, that'll be nice. Just got to get our plank numbers up. I know we only have 4 of these. We're going to need more than that, but we're not quite there yet, folks. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet. Probably doesn't help that I have, you know, all of these coming in here. But how are we looking? We got, oh yeah, look at all this. We got water here. It still hasn't gone into our sluice area yet because, well, it has to be higher than 0.66 or whatever it is. You think at some point I would actually, you know the correct numbers for that, but I guess that's not happening today. Anything else looking pretty good? Did we actually plant all of our trees? We did. Okay. So that has improved substantially. This obviously has not been built yet because we are in a plank shortage, but they're getting to it. They're getting to it. Should be improving shortly. So I think do a whole lot of thinking, not a whole lot of, you know, actual thinking. But I think if I put another grill here for spatter dock, that's going to give us a little bit faster throughput, a little bit more capacity. Plus, we're about to have extra beavers in terms of jobs anyhow, and we want the flexibility there. So that's looking good. I guess, depending on how we want to set this up, we probably could put a bakery here for the cattail crackers, but, you know, that already exists over there, and it's not horrendously far. It's not close, but it's not horrendously far. I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, we did get access over here to put explosives in, and our single beaver working in the explosives factory is certainly trying their best. But they probably could stand to use some help. We probably could expand this if we felt so inclined, but I don't know that that's going to be a tremendously important thing. Now, other stuff we were going to talk about doing, getting this connected here to here. And I guess when I placed this zipline station, I made a poor choice, and that was putting this directly in the axis right here of this thing. Because somebody left a comment and said, hey, you should just have the power shafts come out this side and then just go straight up that way. And I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. But I wasn't planning to do it that way, which is why that didn't happen that way. And I think I kind of want to continue doing it the way that I already had set out to. But we don't have to be ridiculous about it, I think is what I was attempting to get to. And instead we could do something that is going to be, I don't know, maybe ridiculous, but in a different way. I don't know. I'm probably not even making any sense. It's fine. We're just going to keep on keeping on with what we're doing. Just build this across here, and then at some point we've got to make it match up. I just don't know exactly where that's going to be. Because remember, we do have the ability to use the windmill as like the top of one of these things. So if we were to do that, then that would end up going, say, here. And then we just have to have some other sort of a connection there. But if I'm going to do that, then I might as well make that a triple. So that can get connected correctly. So if I did that, and then I had that, and then I could do the big boy windmill. Right, like so. And, you know, that doesn't look too shabby. Then I can just do one of these numbers right here, assuming they can, you know, actually build this, which I hope they can. They probably should be able to. This one is going to be a pain in the butt because I'm going to have to be able to get up next to it. But yeah, just to demonstrate that we can actually achieve things sometimes. We can get that put in place, but there's so much stuff on the list that it might not be a super quick process. I'm more interested in getting all of this blown up so we have a little bit more capacity in our dam here. They still have a little bit more to put in. I don't know that they're going to get it finished in 2.6 days, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Meanwhile, though, we have cattail crackers. We got grilled spatterdock coming in. This stuff is going to take some time to grow in properly, but I do think it was very much worth moving this aquatic farmhouse and getting stuff situated, so on and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and just demolish these because we, you know, don't need them there. And we also don't need this at all. This can go away. That can go away. That can go away. So on and so forth. This is going to give us a lot more space to plant crops. So we'll go ahead and just bring those out that way. I like doing this with the stripes. It might not be like the most efficient, logical way to set this up, but I kind of like it, so I don't think there's any harm in that. Just grab all these other pieces off the ground, and we should be good to go. I think they can reach this. Yep. And we got a well-being of 22, so that's a nice improvement there. This is already such a big, big help. I like this a lot. Although it is like actually painful knowing that they're very likely going to be unable to get into this, and it's going to be a tragedy. So let's just go ahead and detonate it. We can always come back and do this later. I want to make sure we get that extra bit of capacity filled up before the drought starts. Should be a pretty, you know, self-explanatory motivation for that, but you know how it goes. Just go ahead and get those situated, although that's not the most important thing to get built. And it is behind everything else, so, well, everything else that have been built up to this point, which they can no longer actually do. See, I hate doing this. I hate building like this, because it just, man, I need beavers with longer arms so they can just reach out over here. Because now this makes me look like, yeah, what are you doing? Like you don't have any train of thought in your head. The you in this situation being me. But I digress. I think we do want to continue putting in more storage here, but what this also allows us to do is we can extend this ladder up vertically as opposed to up horizontally, because that's definitely a thing that exists. We can extend this up, and that's... I always forget the ladders mod has been changed where it has to have a path now. That's actually kind of... I mean, I understand why, and in the grand scheme of things, it makes a whole lot of sense to do it this way, but there's... I've got multiple years of muscle memory with the ladders mod at this point, so it's real hard to change those habits. But overall, it's a good change. But I'm glad it happened, because it just makes it so much easier to build with these things. But, I'm not used to putting the paths in. Anyway, yes, my nose decides as soon as I go to record a video that it's time for sniffles again, which is incredibly frustrating, and I have so many words for it that are not appropriate for this audience, so I'm going to refrain from that. But we get this connected. That's going to be an opportunity to utilize space up here. And now we got a drought again. 21 days. 21 days. Which does have the unfortunate consequence, since this is not yet hooked up, of stopping all of our production with everything else. But we are not too far away, folks. Not too far away from getting most of this figured out. I just go ahead and use the 4x here. You know, there's not really any rule that says I have to do it this way. You know what you already know. You already know. There's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. You know, sometimes maybe there should be. Just saying. Yeah, so just for our benefit, I don't know what that click was. Well, I know what it was. It was me making the click sound. But anyway, we've gone completely off the rails at this point. They can't reach this? Of course not. Of course not. Just have to put that in there. Get this out. Get that out. Building all of our stuff. We're replacing all of these at some point. We've got batteries that are going to be discharged rather quickly. We don't have the ability to generate any additional power except for the windmills, and yes, we will be changing these out, because that's 128 and that's 64. Don't have to be a math major to tell you that that's twice what this is capable of producing. And since we're in such a an ideal scenario for this to get done, I'm just going to go ahead and pop all of these out if I can. Provided I've got the paper, which I do, and I've got the planks, and I do. Yeah, now's the time to get this done, while we still kind of have the opportunity to. So, they're going to get that taken care of. I got one more here, and that should connect all of this together. Albeit not perfectly, but, you know, I'll take it. It's fine. Just get this organized, and we get power distribution going all over the place, relatively speaking. And there we go. We got all 630 power coming out of these guys. Soon to be 126-ish more. And then all these gravity batteries as well. Great developments, great improvements. Plenty to be happy about with that. This explosive storage is completely empty, because of course it is. Honestly, you know what? I should have put the ladder on the very end. I don't know why I didn't do it that way. Well, you know what? No more contemplating. Contemplate this. We're gonna put these things up here. I don't know. There's no reason for me to have done it the way I did it, so let's just fix it before it becomes an issue. Get rid of that, and oh yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of this whole stack. Well, oh, somebody's stuck. No silly billies. That's okay. You won't be silly for long. The silly police will put a stop to that. Anyway, now why did you do that, you might ask? Well, now we have the opportunity to, you know, put some other stuff in here that isn't going to be quite as stupid looking. And we have the opportunity, as we continue going along, to have some connectivity here as well. There's not really anything else I could put down there, but that probably would be a good spot to covertly hide something like, say, a beaver statue. And we'll just have that staring into that guy's bathroom window right there, because that's what you want to see when you're brushing your teeth in the morning and doing other bathroom activities. You want to see the beaver overlords keeping watch. Big Brother's always watching. And we're just going to put a platform right on top of that so we can just, you know, move right along. And I'm going to pop in that guy right there. Should be a, well, not like a perfect shortcut, but, you know, any amount of connectivity improvements you can make is probably going to be a smart thing to do. All right, that's looking pretty good. And we probably should be, yeah, there we go. Should be continuing to blast this out even during a drought. Because it's not like it's going to make the water go away. It's just going to make more of it be in this slightly deeper area. I know there is someone somewhere who is absolutely irate that I have not built a centrifuge yet. I want you to know, if that is you, that I care about you, and we're going to solve that problem right now. I just have to figure out exactly where it makes sense for that to go, because this does have to be powered. And there's not really a great setup for this with the way these things are popped in here. Because I do want it to be powered, and I do want it to be accessible to the bad water, but it might actually end up being a thing where it's going to make more sense to put it in, like maybe right here, up on stilts. And I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to need to use one of these guys. easiest. Yeah, it's going to be easiest for me to just do it this way. Now, I know there may be some concern among you that when this is flooding, water coming through here, that this would cause the potential for some beaver injury from bad water. And I'm here to tell you that unless a beaver is swimming or walking through standing water, it's not going to hurt him. Falling water basically doesn't exist. It's just a visual artifact. So, again, centrifuge going here is going to make that a pretty useful spot. Depending on how we want to do this, we could also get this blockage out of here. And then we could actually key this back a little tiny bit. You know what? You know what? I think I want to do that. I think I'm going to do that. We're going to get rid of all of these right here. Take advantage of our drought conditions to make that happen. Anyway, the centrifuge being right here is helpful for multiple reasons. One, it kind of covers up our ugly thing here. Two, it gives us the chance to make really good use of this space right here for storage of bad water. And then we can also come up here and get rid of these trees. You know what? They're birches. I'm not going to spend my time trying to save 4 of those, so those can go away. We can blast this all the way down. And we have space here that we can continue reclaiming with the help of terrain blocks. See, I told you there's going to be good stuff that happens as a result of us using this. Can only be a benefit. But yes, now we have centrifuge here. I'm going to turn this whole area right here into... We're going to have a... Actually, oh, I thought I could put 3 big tanks. Yeah, that definitely wouldn't work. 2 big tanks. But it seems that that's not going to be possible unless I just put them straight in like this. I don't know. It'll make sense in the grand scheme of things. It might not make sense right now because my brain decides very frequently that it wants to say something that doesn't make any sense while still absolutely making sense in my head. It's probably 90% of my videos. It's actually a wonder anybody actually watches these. So I'm glad you're here, and thank you for putting up with my nonsense. Oh man, the amount of times that I have just completely laid what is left of my psyche bare on the internet would probably mortify an 18th century Victorian child. But that's fine. They couldn't handle Doritos either. All right, let's get these dynamites out of here. So, you might be saying, when are you going to stop talking and just do stuff? Well, that time is now, friends. So now I've got this ready to go here. I'm going to push this back again as well. And I think if I have this set up correctly, I'm going to be able to have a big tank and a big tank and then a path along this side here. But you're going to have to bear with me. The frustration will continue until morale improves. So what I'm going to try to do here, do I have actual extract yet? Okay, good. I'm so tired of putting these individual things in. So tired of doing that. Let's get this situated. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create like a multi-cascading thing here. Right? So this is 3 tall. So this is going to get 3'd. That's going to get 3'd. This is going to get 2'd. And then I'm going to be able to put in, I think for balance sake, I'm going to have the 3rd bad water pump there. And then this whole thing can just be connected. Why is this not connecting? Why is this not connecting? Hello? Hello? Bueller? Anybody home? Hello? There we go. That's very strange. I wonder if that's because there was land there before. But I digress. Get that out of there. Now that should have absolutely no way of contaminating any beavers henceforth. I mean, it probably wasn't anyway, but you know how this goes. Best laid plans and all that. Alright. I sincerely hope that this makes more sense to you than it makes to my brain that is currently trying to actually, you know, explain how this is going. My many apologies to those of you having to having to sit through this while I'm not entirely sure how to actually explain this, what I'm doing here. All right. Ah, wrong button. There we go. So, there we go. Extract bad water. This just comes right along here. That just goes that way. That goes that way. And now we have this extra piece here. My nose decided that it didn't want to have a... I don't even know what words are anymore. I hate it when this happens. But I did figure out a way to solve additional problems while we're working here. Oh, my nose hates me so much. It absolutely hates me. Bad water pump, 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 pump. Problem solved. There we go. Pick up your trash. Like beginning of Half-Life 2. Pick up that can. This log is out of the way. But hopefully you can see the vision. Hopefully. We may not need 4 bad water pumps, but I've got them anyway. Why not, right? Just get the thing done. Do what you can. Let them build this while I try to unclog my nose. What'd you do today? Oh, I listened to this guy have a nose clog on a beaver game. Like, what? Don't worry about it. It's totally fine. But yes, this needs to get... what do you mean it's too far? You ding-dongs. There. Get that picked up. Yes, my 9 logs that I have to stop everything for to get taken care of. See, it makes sense. It makes sense. And this is all right next to the zipline station. So it's good to take anywhere all over the map. We're solving problems. We're not creating them. That's what this is about, right? We're fixing all that. And the secondary benefit of doing all of this is that, yes, friends, we can continue coming over here and putting land over all of this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to put in a levee here to actually decrease the amount of space that this is taken up, because I want to box this in. And I think I'll just do this. I'll just do it straight up with levees, because I want to be able to put land on top of this that isn't going to be polluted, and the levees will stop that. But yes, it's an eternal problem to solve. Getting all this taken care of in such a way that it's going to actually make sense. Remember, we're planting wheat here. That's supposed to be the idea. It's supposed to be. Let's check and see how our chestnut trees are doing. I just remembered those. All right. Hey, we're actually looking like we're going to have some chestnuts coming in pretty soon, which means that gather flag can just be unpaused. We're going to need to have some storage for some chestnuts, log storage, scrap metal storage. Oh, hey, did we actually fully get rid of all of our scrap metal? Oh, I was going to do that today, too. We're going to get closer to the other stuff here. Well, I think we're in a spot now where I can pretty safely... got 523. I'm just going to let these keep going for a little bit, but I am going to remove that pile. Got 200 treated planks. I'm going to take these woodwork shops away. And I'm going to go ahead and plant additional chestnut trees in that spot because I can. And what's going to go here instead is we can have a large warehouse if we feel like that's a good use of resources. We could have a large warehouse for chestnut storage. We could have a large warehouse for pine resin, which honestly is probably a better choice. But this is going to produce so many chestnuts that I can probably... never mind. Never mind, can't do that. Can't do that, but I can do that. Alright, cool. That's fine. That's fine. We'll just put regular chestnuts here, because that's where they're going to get picked up from anyway. This storage for logs probably still needs to exist. These for metal blocks need to get moved somewhere else, but you know, it's a long-term problem. Long-term problem that we're not really going to be able to solve overnight. Oh, this is also completely evaporated, but we already knew that was going to be a thing. So much to do, so much to see. Okay, that's waiting on dirt because why? Oh, that's just far behind in the queue. Alright, so I actually do have some extract. That's good. I don't have any more, bad water. Somebody did leave a comment saying, hey, why don't you just cap off one of these things? And the reason why I'm not going to do that is because the bad water dome for the Folktails completely shuts it off. It doesn't force water to come out. And there's no incentive for me to get rid of the bad water coming out here because it's generating power. But then the other reason why I wouldn't put a rig there is, well, one, this wouldn't fit with how we have this currently set up. But again, it's generating power, and we want to be able to pump stuff. Even though the rig is more efficient, we have other spots on the map we can do that. And let's not forget, there's one of these back here, which, if I'm not incorrect, perfectly... Oh, wow, look at that. Look how cute that is. That is perfectly shaped and sized for a bad water rig to go inside. It's not that far away from everything else we got going on here. I could put a station here. In fact, that's probably not a bad choice. Although, I'm not going to put any more dynamite down until I can get more bad water. Just want to make sure we have all that ready to go. Okay, see, now we're doing stuff here. Now we're doing stuff here. That should be a big improvement. I think what's going to have to happen here is going to have to put in some more of these doohickeys. Of course, I clicked the wrong one. Go. And then I guess... I didn't want to put a... what's this thing called? Levee? Yeah. Sheesh. Batting 1,000 a day, folks. I didn't want to put a levee here because that was going to cause flow issues. But for the sake of stuff not looking like garbage, I guess I can just put that back on top of there. Because that's also a thing that's allowed now. Let's not forget that. And then that'll go on top there. That'll go on top there. And then, oh yeah, this whole thing was because I hadn't decided where I wanted the irrigation to be. Good job, me. Good job. Good job. All right. Let's see, how are we looking here? Still got plenty of gears, well, relatively speaking. We are going to need to be careful about what this does, because this is going to kind of retain some bad water. I don't think it's going to be an issue, because this is basically already the bottom of the map. In fact, it literally is. So as long as we're not, you know, causing flow issues, I think it's fine. If we really wanted to, before this does any more, we probably could go ahead and move this over. You know what? That's stupid enough to work, because this is perfectly flat now. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Because we can also. Oh yeah. We can put the dynamite in here too, at some point after we get more bad water in. If it sounds like I have no idea what I'm doing, then that's probably because that is mostly a correct assessment. But we're having fun. Just gonna get this popped in best we can. Easiest possible solution there. Then put the gravity batteries. Then that'll keep them busy for a little bit of time. And we'll continue straightening this out if we want to put additional water wheels in at some point, which we probably should. But that's probably going to be a problem for another day. Anyhow, so we got 7 days left in the drought. And I probably should end the episode when we get to the end of cycle 16. So what else did we want to get into? I know we talked about, you know, doing, well, one, the stacked not hydroponic farms, the aquatic farming. That's a long-term project. I do really like that idea, and I think that's going to be a fun thing. But that is going to take time to get to. We also talked about making a quote-unquote Grand Central Station zipline type thing, which long-term I do think would be a cool thing to put here. But we haven't really expanded the map that much to make that a necessity yet. But I do see the vision. I have a rough idea of what might be fun to do with that. And it kind of revolves around this. Actually, you know what? Let's do something. I'll explain. Dev mode, toggle the fog, and take it off of dev mode. There's been at least one or two of you who have commented for the past like 5 or 6 videos asking me to turn the fog off, and I just never have. So there you go. Fog's off. I'm probably not always going to remember to do it, but it does help see a lot further when you're zoomed out like this. Somebody left a comment, and I really like this idea of by the end of this playthrough trying to kind of rebuild these castle walls, because that's what this map is supposed to be, right? It's an old human ruin. You got all these towers and everything. I think that would be kind of fun. I don't know if it's going to be like a super easy or achievable thing, but especially now that we can do terrain on top of these platforms and stuff, I think it would be kind of cool. So you guys let me know in the comments if that's something you want to see. If you want to try and just box this whole thing in here like it would have been, because that is what the map was based around, I think it would be neat. And it would give us a lot of opportunities to maybe put like a ring of zip lines around the top of this whenever we got there. Lots and lots and lots of stuff to get into. So please do let me know your thoughts on that as we're continuing going through stuff here. I don't have any more scrap metal for right now, so I'm going to get these guys out of here. That can also go away. And these little windmills probably should be replaced with larger ones. So, you know, let's actually just let's be smart here. Let's take our time, get the stuff cleaned up, and then replace this with 2 wood workshops that are going to require a total of 500 HP to run. But these guys, 3 of them will be able to run that no sweat, and then at some point we will get a gravity battery or maybe flywheels when that gets updated. If and when. Now paper's a problem, so I guess I can just go ahead and put those in. Oh, come on. Put that on. There we go. We got these guys turning, making a pretty decent 714 HP. These guys slowly draining as well. You know, the dirt excavator is going to take a little bit of time to get put back in, but that's totally fine. We're going to be okay. I was kind of hoping I could put these 2 tanks like side by side here and we'd have more space, but I guess it's fine. If I had been a little bit smarter in building this, I would have made a provision for another 3 bad water pumps to be accessed off of a lower level here, but I don't think we're going to need 7 of them. And this honestly looks perfectly fine, mostly. But I forget what I was getting at here. I guess, yeah. We're going to let these guys do what they got to do. Put these things in place. We do need to do at least something to get over toward the rest of this scrap metal. And I said multiple times last episode that I was going to end up doing that, and I didn't do it, so I don't want to be a liar. I'd rather be well, I can't say that either. That is a different context in modern society. Anyway, Drake and Josh viewers will know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're just gonna make our way over here. Go over the top of the nasty, and well, it's actually clean water pretty much. There we go. There we go. That's gonna be a whole lot better. We'll just make this nice and simple. All the way down. And then back up again. I know I probably could have done it a little differently, but you know how it goes. So we're, you know, because we have so much metal going on right now, I'm just going to leave probably 2 scavenger flags should be okay. I don't quite have room. Oh, I made a mistake. I made a mistake doing this. That's never happened in human history. You know what? No. We're not cavemen. We have technology. Boy, how I wish that was not copyrighted so I could make merch of that. That would be really fun. But let's just have that set there. Eventually they'll build this and it will be glorious. Everything will be fine and dandy. And, oh, I was going to put here, instead of this pylon, I was going to put a station. But now I fear I've done too much. Actually, I probably could make this work, but I'd have to cut off all of the entire transportation network, and that's potentially dangerous. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. If I manage to do this correctly, I can take... Let's see, that's 5. I almost did math wrong again. Surprise, surprise. We can get this out of here. Then I can demolish this, and then I can build another station right here. Nice and simple like. It is going to be a slight declination here. Oh, I didn't want to put doubles there. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, no, no. No, 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 no. That needs to be singles. Singles. Come on. Come on. I'm making those hamsters in my head run for their lives. And they're not able to keep up. Oh, it's like driving a super economy car on the freeway. It's never going to be enough. Never going to be enough. You're going to get run down by some guy in a lifted pickup truck. Come on. Come and place this. Don't make me a liar. Of course, now it's, the end of the night. They're not going to be working on that. But what we're going to do is we're going to change this over so we have a little bit of an easier access to this area. And continue making small improvements where we can, when we can. Because that's how this works. But hey, guess what? Looks like our dirt excavator is back on the menu, making more dirt. This storage here is still fine. I'm not really tempted to move that. We're making more paper. Do we have these in place? We're just waiting on planks, and that's about it. Yeah, we're getting stuff done. Kind of. Alright, so that's blown up. Now the fun part comes when I remove this, because there's going to be some beavers trapped here. But there's nothing I can do about it. Oh no, we got 6 stranded beavers. Alright, well, here's how you fix that problem. You build the zipline station anyway. So now we have to... Okay, this is literally the only place this can go. Oh, it's literally the only place that was ever going to be possible for that to go. That's fine. Then that just gets connected right back there. Good, very good. It might be a little ugly, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and demolish that, because that no longer needs to exist. That no longer needs to exist. There we go, folks. There we go. Now build this immediately, because your life depends on it. You know what's going to be really funny? And by really funny, I mean absolutely infuriating. Is when they can't get metal blocks because all the metal blocks are over here. Let's see, that's 360. That's not... Oh! There should technically be a few on this side. I'm expecting this to not be fun. when we figure out exactly what's happening. Yeah, there's 3. There's 3. All right, cool. Oh man. Oh, I hate it when I'm right. I hate it when I'm right, man. I'm not gonna have metal blocks. Not gonna have them. Not gonna have them. And now I gotta come in here and build this garbage again. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I said I wasn't gonna do it. Man. Well. It was always going to be that way. It was always going to be that way. Something was always going to happen. And let this be a lesson to you to always make sure that you have inventory on both sides of a transportation gap. Or else you, if you're not careful, you might soft lock yourself. And nobody wants that to happen. Alright. Well, they did manage to get 11 metal blocks there without going to that other side. So who knows? Maybe there was actually enough there and I'm just, not doing a smart thing. But now that that's in place, and this is, we can still have this here. It's not the end of the world. But, yeah, because it's not going to be polluted water anymore. Alright. What are we accomplishing here? Let's finish this off strong without allegations of insanity. Any further allegations of insanity. What did we do today? Very good question. We've got centrifuge in place. We probably should have another explosives factory, but that's a problem for later. We improved bad water. We've got big tanks for these guys. Still have tons and tons and tons of water, which is great. So this actually ended up being the correct amount, for right now at least. We have the opportunity to continue fixing all of this mess. I pretty safely get rid of this. And we can increase the capacity there. We improved food storage. We improved food production with the help of the grilled spatterdock, which does not have any more spatterdock to grill. Then that's a problem that will solve itself over time. We have increased possible efficiencies by putting this as a zipline station instead of a pylon. And we are in the middle of accessing our additional space for ruins. So, I'm going to say that is where we're going to end today. I know we have still a couple more things to do, and I am going to place these things down, but we're not going to have these ready to go quite yet. Don't tell me this isn't going to... Is this going to block the... It is. It's going to block the zipline. Oh, can't have that. But I can have that. So... I guess ugly, whatever, but you can't have the zipline guys banging their feet on this. It's like, what's that? It's like every time I went to Six Flags, someone's like, hey, here's some kid died on the Superman coaster because he was dangling his... Stop it. I don't know. If that actually happened, then that was an incredibly crass joke to make, and someone's going to cancel me for it. But regardless, you don't want to be hitting stuff when you're on one of these things. It's not a good time. Doesn't feel good for anybody involved. But what does feel good is getting to do this pretty much every day, and knowing that there's people who genuinely care about the series that we're doing and the community that we're cultivating. And I really appreciate you guys watching these videos, putting up with my nonsense, giving me good ideas, and keeping me in check when necessary, because that's a very necessary thing. It's good to have people in your corner who are gonna advocate for you to be your best self. And I know it might seem like that's kind of a stretch to attach to simple video games on YouTube. But, I think it's a very important thing in today's world that people be kind to each other whenever possible. And so instead of yelling at this silly Billy, we're going to examine what happened and give them an opportunity to not be stranded. How did you... Oh, okay, I think I know what happened. They're on a zipline, and then they suddenly decided they no longer wanted to be on the zipline because the zipline was probably removed. And that gave them the, I guess, opportunity to be on top of this house. So, instead what we will do is we'll have them build this stuff and they'll get unstuck, and that is going to be a happy ending for that beaver. And, yes, so, like I was saying, I really appreciate you guys. Seriously. Beard Boosters, you already know. You make it possible to keep doing all this fun stuff. And literally could not make these videos without you, so very, very thankful for your support. There's, what, 1,500, 1,600 names on this list by now. It's completely insane. It's like every single person who's ever either purchased a membership, been gifted a membership, renewed a gifted membership, or whatever. I keep the names on there forever because I'm very, very thankful to everybody who's ever been involved. It doesn't exist without you. I'm not going to be here, or I shouldn't say I'm not going to be here without you, but I wouldn't be here without you. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and hopefully we can have continued enjoyment out of the rest of this series, and I can figure out how to actually play the game with 1,000 hours on Steam. But yeah, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.